What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This video is brought to you by my supporters on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch at Potion Shop TV. Thank you all you guys for the support. Today we're talking about Dark Rifts and why most players don't find Dark Rifts be fun. Let's just start off with a quick example here. Alright, so this is Beg. Hey there, Beg. Alright, so does this feel threatening? Does this feel like a challenge? Right? Is it easy to dodge him? Look at this. This is really a challenge. Is he threatening? Is this interesting? Maybe as a new player. But as a player who's played the game for more than a week, or you fought him one time, I mean, it's going to be super easy to know exactly how his attacks work and how to dodge him. This is not exciting. All right, let's take this one step farther. All right, look at my HP here. Literally, I have a fairy running, giving me some pots. Literally not in a challenge at all. Not worried about dying. This is with 20 DP. So not only is the boss not even challenging, also he doesn't do enough damage to threaten me. And on top of all of that, it doesn't scale with my gear. So it's a complete mess. Nothing about this is interesting. Nothing at all. Literally nothing at all. So this is a huge issue. You know, it can't be, if it's not challenging, it can't be fun. That's not a reason to go do it. All right, well, why about the loot? A lot of people are like, what about the loot? What about the loot? The loot is fine, right? Well, yes and no about the loot. So let's talk about the loot. So let's start with the best loot and go to the worst loot. So the best loot is you do Dark Rift that gives you the Ancient Spirit Dust. There's 3 of those. That's 300 Ancient Spirit Dust for 3 bosses. That ends up being around 60 Caphras you're going to get for doing those 3 bosses. Pretty nice. And the price, depending on your server, varies a little bit. But we're going to say it's 2.8 billion for Caphras, which is going to be around 150 to 180 million. Not bad money. Not bad at all. All right. So 168 in this case here. Let's say you have Pooterim. Pooterim is going to give you either Crescent Ring, Opacity Belt, Ogre, Latent, something nice. You know, it's going to give you something nice. That's going to average out to be around like 50 mil probably. And then this is where we kind of run into some problems because all their other Dark Rifts are garbage. You're going to get some Cron Stones, maybe a terrible accessory out of it. And at the end, after you do the rest of those, it's going to be around another 70 to 80 million. We'll say 80 million just for example. So it ends up being about 300 million for doing all your Dark Rifts. So if you had to say, hey, I only do my Caphras Dark Rifts, smart move. All right. If you had to say Pooterim's not worth it, especially if it spawns at Crescents or Fogans. Running 15 minutes out there to do it and teleporting back to Sangren Bazaar is just not worth your time. Straight up, even if you're only making like 100 mil an hour, not worth your time. This trip is just not worth it. And the other Dark Rifts, the same thing's true. Going out there and getting 4, 6, 8 Cron Stones, accessory that's worth 6 million, is not worth your time to go to that field boss. If you haven't been passing by, maybe do it for fun. If you're bored, maybe do it, but don't do it for the profit. All right, so the profit is only worth it definitively for the Caphras Dark Rifts. All the rest of them, very, very debatable, and I don't think this is even worth it, really. Especially if you're able to do like Red Orc, so it's like 400 mil an hour. All right, so let's talk about the fun side of things. So, are Dark Rifts fun? Inherently fun? And the answer is no. Why? Why are Dark Rifts not fun? Well, if you had to say, are the bosses challenging? No. Are the bosses rewarding to fight? Like, are they, you know, they reward you with like, when you get better gear, they're easier to fight? No. So really the only thing you're doing is you're doing it for some loot, and you're doing it because Pearl Abyss says that's what you should be doing. They're not enjoyable. And on top of that, you have to AFK ride from these boring bosses that aren't interesting, that you can just HP pot through. You have to AFK ride from horses from one to the next. And so on top of that, you're AFK ride on a horse, because everybody does that. No one's going to actively ride their horse in Dark Rifts. And so again, you have 2 very, very boring things. AFK riding. You have AFK, which is literally not even playing the game, and you have bosses, which are really kind of suck. So this is what the bad things are. And then a third thing here is the loot. The loot is average. The loot is average overall. And on top of that, the loot is static, so you know what your loot you're going to get ahead of time. There's no surprise factor when you're grinding stars in and you get a distortion earring. You're like, whoa, wow, we got, and you get 2 in an hour. It's like, whoa, we got 2. When you get 3, bro, you're like over the moon. It's like, bro, I just made $1 billion silver this hour. That feels incredibly good because you didn't expect it. The RNG of it. So, and then on top of that, you have to do 10 of these Dark Rift bosses, which is very repetitive. This adds extra boringness to it all. And so the solution to this, is basically you want to make sure you limit the boring stuff. So the repetition side is boring, so you want to limit the number of bosses they have to do. You want to make sure that there's RNG for what boss you're going to get, so you don't have to fight the same bosses over and over and over again. So you want to get a random boss. You want RNG in the loot, so maybe one time you go, you get 5 ogre rings. Next time you go, you get 300 Caphras. Maybe next time you go, you get like a Tricrescent ring. This would be like very, very exciting. Well, how do you make it where it's not broken? Well, the easy answer is you spawn the boss like 1 boss a month. But when you get it, you'd be crazy excited to go do it. Not because the boss is challenging, but because the loot had RNG to it and the boss has RNG. And maybe you can add some other mechanics that are RNG as well. So anyway, hopefully this kind of explains why Dark Rifts suck right now and how they can kind of make them better. Some RNG being thrown in there and limiting how many Dark Rift bosses you have to do would greatly aid in making these feel a lot better. If I only had to do like 2, 3, 4 of these in an entire month, but I got really good money out of it, would be a lot more fun. Anyway, hopefully this explains it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.